While Rocky Moore, Mr. Blue Point, was selling Sherwin-Williams paint, another Blue Point resident was putting Bayport on the map.
Thanks
Jim
for coming in
Davis,
today.
a local house mover, bought a big tract of land that was to become later known as the Bayport Aerodrome.
Brakes in contact.
Brakes in contact.
Well, the original airfield was my father, who was Kurt Davis. He took this land from his father, who used to grow corn here. And my father got into flying in the early 40s, and he decided he wanted his own strip close to home. So that's how it started. Well, when we started out, he called it Davis Field, and he named it after himself, of course, and he had a lot of work ahead of him.
In the early days of aviation, most airports were called aerodromes, and the idea was that they were just wide open grass spaces, and the aerodrome was either circular in nature or square.
It was in the early 40s that we started building the airfield and so on. And it made it a little bit easier because there was corn here before for the central strip. But my brother and I used to, this is where we learned how to drive and so on, because we had an old 39 Chevrolet that we'd go around and pick up all the stumps and when they were clearing the land and bring them down and throw them in the big hole in the back here, and it was, we had a good time.
Back before the war, was at some point sold to the Edwards family, but they had 3 hangars down at the other end of the field, which were actually, we have 1 runway now, but they actually were in the center of 2 cross runways. The story is that all 3 hangars came from Roosevelt Field. The local folklore is that actually one of the hangars that was here actually housed the Spirit of St. Louis. There is no verification of that whatsoever, but it's a great local story.
Well, in the beginning, we had the building behind me, was the first hangar that was put up. And then, you know, as the years went on, probably a couple of years later, then we built 2 or 3, not me really, but my father built 2 or 3 other buildings over here, one for himself, and one for Chilo Bianchi, and the other one, I guess, was for anybody who wanted to keep their plane here.
If you've seen our logo, you'll see a tower that's on the logo. That's actually I believe it was an observation tower that was down on Fire Island. It was brought here by and I don't know whether it was the Davis family, the Edwards family that brought it over here. But that was actually the pseudo control tower, if you want to call it, being that we didn't have it wasn't a controlled field, but they kind of was the point of going up and watching the airplanes.
And then we put up a Coast Guard tower that we brought over from Fire Island. It was a control tower we put up by the 3 buildings, which isn't here anymore, of course. And it was becoming quite an airfield.
The earliest airplane we have here is a replica of a 1911 Blériot.
It was a French design. It was the first airplane to fly across the English Channel. This was made, however, here in the United States. It's of particular interest because it actually flew the first airmail in the United States. what is really very interesting about it, it went all the way from Garden City to Mineola. Actually, the man took off, and rather than landing, he dropped a sack of mail out of the airplane.
We do have some famous old planes here. One was a Curtis Robin that established at one time an endurance record of a number of days in the air. They actually refueled and lubricated the engine while it was in flight. It stayed up with quite a few days, and the fellows were flying it, and they were eating, doing what they had to do in the air for that number of days. That plane is still here.
They refueled this airplane by driving down the highway, and a platform was built onto the side of the airplane. The pilot would fly the airplane, and his mechanic would go out on the platform, lower down a rope, hoist up gas cans as they were flying down the highway, and refuel the airplane in flight, and that's how they established this endurance record.
And about 1946, I guess it was, somewhere around in there, they had this big party up here, and they called it a donkey roast, and they had a lot of pilots flying around doing, you know, exhibitions, and they had, it was a huge crowd here. And one plane, they were playing the part where somebody ran out and jumped in the plane, was stealing the plane like, and he took off, but unfortunately he crashed. He didn't get hurt, but he survived, but it was quite amusing for the whole crowd anyway.
As far as this airdrome, everything you see, all the flights you see, the flying and everything, it's all volunteer.
The purpose of the society is to further interest in aviation amongst the younger people. We find that a lot of the youngsters don't know very much about our early history or the early history of airplanes in general. So we want to try and foster that and gather their interest, because we're getting to be a bunch of old guys here. We want somebody to follow us, and we want to keep the old airplanes, the old antique airplanes flying.
Well, to build this field today would probably take you about 10 years to get permits, and if you could ever get them, and you'd probably die before you ever got anything done. Compared to years ago, when if you owned the land, you could almost do whatever you wanted. You know, it was a cornfield, you turn it into an airfield, which was very nice, but I wouldn't want to try it today.
It's a real gem, it's a real jewel, and it's a real asset, we believe, to the town of Bayport. And we would like to keep it that way.
Smiley face.
Well, how about that for a little history on the Bayport Aerodrome? Thanks for coming in today, everybody. Holy crap, there's a lot that's gone on while I was watching the video with you guys. First, we got Epic Rider, thank you for the follow. Jeffrey B, thank you for the 14-month resubscription. That brought about a hype train after you did more people subscribed and you did a bunch of gift subs. We'll get to that in a second. Win Tank, thank you for the follow. Adam Chen, thank you for the follow. Adam Chem, thank you for the subscription. Jeffrey B, thank you for the 5 gift subs. Smugglestein, thank you for the 100 bits. I appreciate all your guys' support. Right at the start of the stream this evening, welcome. This is not Bayport, this is Sky Acres. For November, this is where we'll be starting our journey down to Bayport along the skyline tonight. In about 10 minutes, I'm going to be doing a briefing in the NYARTCC TeamSpeak for tonight's event, and then, of course, at 7 Eastern, I will be doing the briefing for the Virtual USA Flying Club for tonight's big event. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we are doing for the event tonight. I don't need the radar going because we've got beautiful skies. Dutchess County says 280 at 10 miles, few clouds at 8,000. So we will be departing 35 at Sky Acres with a left downwind. We'll come on down south here towards the what used to be Stormville, November 6-9, which they've turned entirely into a flea market, which is sad, sad days. We're going to split the gap. There's a little valley right here between this 1745 and 1503, a little bit of mountain here. We'll split the valley, come on down towards West Point, and then we'll just join the Hudson River south. We'll do all of this with ATC in terms of flight following, so pretty much once we get out of Sky Acres, we'll get flight following. We should have New York Approach covering the Catskill sector up for us to pick up the flight following. We'll then talk to New York Approach, the sector that covers normally LaGuardia. They'll give us the Class Bravo clearance. Down on into the Skyline Route, LaGuardia Tower is going to take us, and then Newark Tower is going to take us down, and then once we get close to the Verrazano, we'll talk to Kennedy. Kennedy's going to probably descend us down to 500 feet or below so we can do the South Shoreline eastbound over to Long Island. Once we get to about Jones Beach, we'll climb back up to about 1,000 feet so we can come along the bay here, and then we'll get below the 700 feet so that we can get into the Bayport Aerodrome. That is 2-3 November. That is the route for tonight's event. It should be very, very entertaining. So, thanks for coming in today. I hope you guys enjoy the ride. I'm sure there's plenty of Virtually Safe Flying Club members in the chat right now that'll be joining us on this adventure tonight. It should be epic. So the record for attendance, by the way, for a Virtually Safe Flying Club event is 49. Not sure if we're going to get to 49 tonight, but we'll probably get pretty close, judging by the fact that we'll have at least 3 or 4 members of the club that are doing the ATC for us who will count, and we also already have 28 members of the club that are loading on in, ready to fly out of Sky Acres. So, should be pretty well attended, pretty fun event tonight. Again, the Virtually Safe Flying Club doing a bunch of giveaways tonight for the event. About $270 worth, actually. There's going to be 2 people that participate that will win a sim aircraft of their choice, up to $50. There will be 2 club members that participate that will win $50 gift cards, courtesy of Jeffrey B., who also gave the gift subs in the channel. Thank you so much, Jeffrey B. There will be 2 flying club members that will win $25 gift cards, courtesy of Slant Alpha Adventures. Hey, thanks for coming in today. Give me 5 more minutes. I'm going to brief you guys up real quick.
Yep. I'll open Catskill now. Might as well.
Yes, thank you. 2 members that are going to win the $25 gift cards courtesy of Slant Alpha Adventures, our good buddy Rob Sherman Jr., and then there was also going to be 1 club member that's going to win either a hat or a mug courtesy of Eric Flight from his store. So there are a lot of great prizes being given away for tonight's event. Celebrate the 4 years of the Virtual USA Flying Club. I'm sure pretty much everyone in the chat is a Flying Club member, but if somehow you're not, and you're a VATSIM member, and you enjoy general aviation flying, we want to get you involved, so you can go ahead and join our Discord, the Virtually USA Flying Club Discord. Again, you do need to be a VATSIM member in good standing to join, but if you enjoy general aviation and you're part of the wonderful VATSIM network, then please come on in. So tonight's event is sponsored by VATSIM, also VAT USA, which is the jurisdiction of the United States under VATSIM. NYARTCC, I've got a bunch of my friends over there that are helping us with the controlling this evening. I'll be streaming tonight. Slant Alpha Ventures will be streaming tonight. Jeffrey B. might be streaming tonight. I'm not sure. I think Eric Lemaire is not going to be able to partake tonight, unfortunately, as last check, but we'll see. Maybe we'll get lucky with him. Melvin Leroy also might be able to join in late. I know he's working. We got November 8033 Foxtrot, our good buddy Michael Manook. He's going to be here tonight. And, of course, downwindsim.com. We thank you, Ralph. Also, Johnny Hayes for creating the scenery. I think Steven also created the 4th of November for X-Plane 12. Appreciate the work that those guys did to put these sceneries together for us for the event tonight. I'm going to keep the route page up here. Just a second on my other monitor. Before we do these briefings, I'm going to get this plane started just because right as soon as I'm done briefing the club, we're going to go and get right on out of here. So let me go ahead and get this thing fired up so as to not waste time when the time comes. Get everything going on here. On, everything going on. We've already done our walk around. Everything's off, so I did that off stream, that's fine. Alright, let's see. We are going to give it a little bit of prime here. One shot should be plenty. Close it up. Open this so we can yell clear prop. Fire it up. Oh, and these gotta be on. That'll probably help. There we go. Excellent, excellent. Alright, fire in the hole. Fantastic. Alrighty. So we'll get this thing going. I'm going to just put 2-3 November in here for reference. And we're going to let the airplane kind of sit and run idle for now while I take care of some matters off screen. Good Fixins, thank you for the 27 months. I appreciate it. It is the big day.
Good Fixins just subscribed. Mike.
Hey, can you come up to Minor Cab real quick for a quick brief?
Yep.
Quincy, can you come up to the Minor Cab for the quick brief, please?
Channel switched. User joined your channel. User joined your channel.
Alright, gentlemen, thank you very much for coming in. I appreciate all of you. You guys are going to be the main event tonight, if you will, in terms of the ATC for the club event, so I appreciate that. So here's how it's going to go down. I'm going to lay this out nice and quick for you. We're departing out of Sky Acres 4-4 November off at 3-5. We're going to do left downwind departures. Once we clear the Sky Acres area, Matt, you're going to be the first one we talk to. We're going to pick up flight following with you. We're going to shoot down towards Stormville, which is just to the south of Sky Acres. It's excuse me, November 6-9, which actually doesn't exist anymore. They turned into a flea market, which is kind of sad. But from there, we're going to kind of skirt that Dutchess County Class Delta and then kind of make our way towards the Hudson, right around West Point, avoid the restricted area, and then go down the river to the south. At which point, I guess you'll hand us off to Dennis. Dennis, you're going to be the one that likely clears us into the Class Bravo for the Skyline Route once we get towards the tap. And then it'll be just through the towers, LaGuardia Tower, then Newark Tower, and then Kennedy Tower. Obviously, once we get to Kennedy Tower, we are going to be having you descend us down. I'm assuming you're using the 3-1s tonight, so it's going to be the at or below 500 South Shoreline going to the east. And then as soon as we get to Jones Beach, we're going to punch out. At that point, we don't need any more flight following. We'll just go over the bay and get into Bayport that way. So that's the quick version of it. Do you guys have any questions for us?
Sounds good. Sounds like a good plan.
Yep, it's great.
And pretty much every single aircraft should be doing the exact same thing. I'm going to brief them up just like I talked to you guys now. So if there's anyone that's not doing it the same, I mean, I guess we'll kind of go roll with the punches. But
they recently expanded the Poughkeepsie class Delta over towards. It's pretty close to Sky Acres now.
Yeah, we're going to keep it nice and tight on that left downwind to try and avoid the Dutchess County Class Delta there. So that's going to all be briefed up with my club members. And again, everyone should be doing the exact same thing. You might get one or two guys here or there that maybe kind of mucks it up a little bit, but just kind of bear with them if you can.
Yep.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm also trying to make sure everyone has like 2 minutes of separation between each other, at least initially out of Sky Acres. It might bunch up over time, but hopefully at least initially it should be pretty decent conga line. So, like I said, unless you...
They don't have to be separated until they hit the Alpine Tower, so...
Yeah. Well, I'm going to try and keep it as clean as possible just so it can look good. But like I said, just if you guys got anything for me, let me know.
Yeah,
Mike, if you got 40 pilots, that's over an hour just for the departures.
Oh, yeah.
You can tighten that up.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they space themselves.
Yeah, I mean, so
it's going to be a listen, it's going to be a self-timed 2 minutes, so how much of 2 minutes it's actually going to be, God only knows. But as long as there's enough spacing and we can get, and the reason why I'm doing it also is not just for you guys in the Skyline Route, but just because I don't want to be so bunched up going to Bayport, because then the bay is going to be ridiculous, the Great South Bay.
Yeah, I imagine that's going to be a pain for you guys.
So, I anticipate that I am going to be landing in Bayport before everyone completely departs out of Sky Acres. That is my full anticipation, and I've already also told my club members, especially the guys that plan on going a little bit slower, to lag to the back and to be patient. And my guys know. They know what the deal is, so you shouldn't have any issues or any complaints from anyone along the way.
Where do 40 planes fit at Sky Acres?
That's
that's what I want to put out.
We're gonna figure that out right now. But unless you guys have questions, let me know. In about 8 minutes, I'm going to brief the Flying Club. So any of you guys that are our Flying Club members, if you want to go to that briefing over in the Flying Club Discord, you're welcome to join over there as well in the Discord to listen to that. And if you're a Flying Club member and you're controlling, so Dennis, Donald, Matt, Michael, Quincy, if you guys are Flying Club members, you're eligible for the prizes tonight. So you can go right now if you want to the Flying Club Discord in that 4-year anniversary event channel and put what position you're controlling, so I can count you towards the attendance and put you in the drawings, please.
Roger.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I'll be in the TeamSpeak if you need to poke me for whatever reason, but otherwise I'm going to be mostly in the Flying Club Discord, alright?
Sounds good.
Thank you very much.
Great.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, have a good event, Mike.
Thank you, thank you.
Channel switched.
Richard, November 6542 Victor. Thank you, Richard, for the follow. I appreciate it. That was the quick briefing. Wings Level Adventures, thank you for the follow as well. You guys just listened to the virtual, the NYAir TCC briefing that I was doing for the event, and now the actual club briefing will start in about 7 minutes. We got about 7 minutes, guys, before the briefing. There. Make as much room as you can, I guess, on the ground here at Sky Acres.
That's why I spawned up by the hangars.
I'm going to run myself up real quick, so I'm going to be ready to go once the time actually hits after the briefing, so I don't hold up the line at the front here. So chat, we are going to line up our DG to the compass. Should be just to about like a 184, looks like. So just a little to the west of south. Right there, works for me. And it's going to be a left downwind, so we're probably going to be about a 170. So I'm just going to get my heading book set ready to go right about here, just for when I turn the autopilot on. Then I'm going to do a quick run up. 2,000 RPM. Let's lean it out a little bit. Alright. Now we'll check the mags. We'll do the left mag. Should be a little bit of a drop, not too bad. Very good. We'll do the right mag. Same thing, a little bit of a drop. The right mag's a little bit on the fouled side, but nothing crazy. Plenty good. Check the carb heat. A little bit of a drop, that's good. We'll check the prop a couple times. Manifold pressure increase. RPM decrease. No oil on the windscreen. And we'll bring the throttle back to about 1,000 RPM. Are we able to do this SVFR route? No, everyone's doing the Skyline route. This is everyone's doing the same thing. I'll talk more about that during the briefing, but we're not going to use the exclusion tonight. This is the club is going in all the way the same. We are all going to be in a nice line, keep everything the same. It's going to be.
Does the speed limit for the CIFRA apply when you're on the Skyline route?
No, it does not. The speed limit that I'm imposing is me imposing the speed limit tonight, but it does not apply to the Skyline route in real world.
Got it.
all those planes lined up behind us, chat.
We got some Skyhawks queuing up already.
Oh, we're going to be pretty close to a club record tonight.
That sounds good.
I think it will be a record.
Three minutes.
TikTok.
3 minutes, this thing will be over in 2 minutes. Name that.
I love a good Red October reference. That's awesome.
I thought that was tough. I thought that was tough.
It's tough.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh man, I could envision Fred Thompson saying there must have been a similar line in Red October. Fred Thompson said something like that.
Yeah, that's when they're in that dogfight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting the alert 5 launched. Yep.
Yeah, to be fair, they're both on carriers.
Oh, it'll be 10 minutes.
My bad. Hey, if you're gonna be wrong, be confidently wrong, right?
Hey, there you go.
That's good. I thought it was aliens.
I knew it took place on an aircraft carrier. I got that right.
I think I'll be comfortably on the ground at Bayport before we finish all the departures tonight out of Sky Acres.
I think that's happened before this place, right? Almost here.
Yeah.
How many we got? 43 in the Discord? Yeah, we're going to be pushing pretty close to a record of 49. 6 more people sneak in here soon.
I should probably get in line looking at the line of aircraft lined up.
One minute.
Comanche's just doing its own thing. Can't brake, can't turn.
I'm sure the software that runs in the background is running.
I am just looking. If we'll be the record breaker, I'll happily slide in and fly.
You got the skills.
Alright, I show 7 o'clock on the East Coast. If everybody could just listen up real quick and bear with me, we'll try and get this briefing done as quickly as possible. Thank you all for coming in today for the Virtuous Safe Flying Club 4-year anniversary. It's pretty impressive that we come this far and gotten through 4 years. So I really appreciate all you guys being here for tonight's flight. We're going to get right into it if you want to look. I should be streaming to the Discord, I believe, of the SkyVector route that we're doing tonight. So we're all going to be lining up here, runway 35 at Sky Acres. We're going to take off, do a left downwind departure. Make sure you avoid the Dutchess County class Delta on that left downwind departure, so don't make it too wide. You head south towards Stormville, which is November 6-9, which does not exist anymore. They turned into a flea market, which is such a shame. From there, you're going to turn towards the Hudson. Now, you have a couple of higher parts of the mountains there at 1745 and 1503. There's a little valley between them. If you want to shoot that valley, you should be good to go. But either way, if you're at 2,000 feet, you're fine. Join up on the Hudson. If you want to join up closer to West Point, that's fine. Just avoid the restricted area. We're going to consider it hot for tonight's event. Down the Hudson River. Pretty much... once you finish your left downwind departure, you're going to pick up flight following with New York Approach on 132.75. So everyone's going to pick up the flight following tonight with New York Approach. It's going to sound something like this. New York Approach, Comanche 124 Mike Charlie. He'll respond, and then you'll say, New York approach Comanche 124 Mike Charlie, just out of Sky Acres at 1,500 feet, climbing to 2,000 feet VFR. Like to head southbound along the Hudson River, flight following to Bayport 23 November via the Skyline Route. So you're going to give all that information right from the gun. He'll give you a squawk code, he'll give you a radar contact, he'll tell you to proceed on course. We'll fly down the Hudson. He'll eventually hand us off to New York approach on 120.8. That's going to be the controller that's going to give us the Class Bravo clearance and whatever altitude he wants us to maintain going on the Skyline Route southbound. We'll then fly that altitude southbound. Eventually he's going to hand us off to LaGuardia Tower, and then LaGuardia is eventually going to hand us off to Newark Tower. Getting closer to the Verrazano, we'll eventually get handed off to Kennedy Tower, at which point the Kennedy Tower controller will likely clear us to descend below 500 feet for the south shoreline of Kennedy, eastbound. Again, on the water side of the land, so you do not want to be over land because then you're going to be busting the Bravo, so you're going to want to be at or below 500. South shoreline going eastbound. Once we get to Jones Beach, we'll ask for the frequency change. So once we get to Jones Beach, we will punch out. We'll no longer need flight following. You can fly over the outer shoreline or over the bay. Just be careful of the Republic Class Delta airspace to make sure you don't bust that. And I'm only going to plan on climbing up to about 1,000 feet, so that way I stay below the shelf, the outer shelf of the ISIL Class Charlie. And then, of course, once you get to Bayport, you need to be below 700 feet. And we are using 3-6 at Bayport tonight, so there's only one call, really, that you need to make going in, and that is the shoreline for 3-6. And then once you land and roll out, clear of the runway at Bayport. Very, very easy flight tonight. There's really actually nothing that complicated about it, especially since we're doing with ATC, doing the Skyline Route. It should be pretty straightforward in terms of the flight tonight. The weather is good, so we shouldn't have any issues with that. In terms of each departure, we're going to do 2 minutes of separation, self-timed, between each departure. So that means when I go wheels up off of runway 35, the next person in line should line up onto runway 35 and start a timer for 2 minutes. Once that 2 minutes expires, they can start their roll. Once they are wheels up, the next person will line up and start a timer for 2 minutes, and so on, all the way down the line. If you're flying a faster aircraft, just remember that the maximum cruise speed for the entire length of the flight is 140 knots. It's got nothing to do with the Skyline Route. It's a restriction specifically imposed by me so that we don't bunch up or have people passing each other. We want to stay in a line from start to finish. So 140 knots maximum for the flight tonight. If you're in a faster aircraft, you definitely want to be towards the front of the line. If you're in a slower aircraft, try and lag a little bit towards the back of the line if you know you're going to be slower. Please be patient. There's a lot of us. We're looking at probably like an hour and a half to 2 hours just to get everyone off the ground at Sky Acres. And then another hour, of course, on the flight over to Bayport through the Skyline Route. So this is a long event. I don't have reserve until 4 p.m. tomorrow, which is great. So I can stay up late, make sure everyone gets into Bayport, and then once the last aircraft in line lands at Bayport, we'll consider the event closed. Make sure you put your information into the attendance channel. That's the 4-year anniversary channel on the Discord. That way, I can get you into the running for the prizes, and I will draw the winners tonight. The 7 prizes that we're giving away tonight are 2 winners are going to win Payware Sim aircraft up to $50 of their choice, courtesy of me. So those 2 winners will be messaging me directly. 2 winners will get a $50 gift card courtesy of Jeffrey Becker's. They will be messaging Jeffrey directly. 2 winners will get a $25 Amazon gift card courtesy of Slant Out Adventures. You'll be messaging Rob Sherman Jr. directly. And 1 winner will be getting an Eric Flight mug or t-shirt from Eric Flight, so you'll be messaging him directly. So depending on which prize you win, you'll be messaging a different person in the Discord. But we'll get that all sorted out once the event ends and everyone's down and everyone's got themselves in on the contest. Everyone should hopefully have watched the Bayport instructional video on how to get in and out. Again, we're using 3-6 at Bayport. Runway 3-6 is the one you want tonight. And the new wrinkle is that we've gotten approval from VATUSA to use the real-world CTAFs. So even though, of course, Sky Acres happens to be 122.8, so everyone should be on 22.8 at Sky Acres for the departure tonight, we will be on 122.7 for Bayport this evening. The real-world Bayport CTAF 122.7 tonight. Again, please file a VFR flight plan from 4-4 November to 2-3 November. For the route, you don't have to put anything, or if it requires you to, you just put Skyline, put Virtual USA Flying Club in the remarks so people can see us and be like, hey, that looks cool, and get more people to join the flying club. Does anybody have any questions?
Mayonnaise an instrument.
Alright, let's not go down that path. Does anybody have any actual questions? Actual questions about the route, about ATC, about filing the flight plan, about the prizes, about what you need to do after you land in terms of putting it in the Discord? Does anybody have any questions at all?
You don't happen to have a list of the ponds we're going to use all the way down, do you?
So the first one in that you're going to talk to is 132.75. That's New York approach. Once you pick up the flight following initially after you do your downward departure out of Sky Acres, and then you're just going to get handed off with the frequencies thereafter. So it should be 132.75 to 120.8 to 118.7 to 118.3 to 119.1 to 122.7 after you punch out with Kennedy going into Bayport. That should be the order of the frequencies, but they're going to tell you exactly which one to go to and when the time comes. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Say again?
They'll tell the people in front of you where to run.
Right.
So you can track it before.
Right.
True.
Alright, again, 2 minutes between each departure, please. Let's keep it nice and spaced. I know there's a lot of us, the guys that are going to be towards the back and in the slower aircraft, I appreciate your patience. You guys know how we operate as a club. Any last questions before I get this line going?
No questions, but can I just recommend one reminder?
Yes.
That at Bayport, the next aircraft should not cross the shoreline inbound until the previous aircraft has called clear the runway.
Yes, that is...
Is that not the case?
No, that's... we'll do the best we can with that. I think it might get bunched up as we get towards the middle of the pack, but yeah, if you're out there and you can see that you have enough space for the aircraft to get off, I'm not going to be too picky about that tonight as long as everyone's got enough space. But you got to make sure you hear them call the shoreline, and again, make sure once you clear the runway that you clear the runway as quickly as possible and make that call. And yeah, if it's possible, if it's not getting too bunched up in the Great South Bay, if you could wait for them to call clear of the runway before you make your shoreline call and move inbound, that'd be great. I mean, if it starts to really get bunched up out in the bay, then we'll just make sure we don't hit each other. That's going to be the rule for the night. Does that sound good?
Yeah, I always thought it was downwind on 18 or the final for...
Oh, that's what it was. That's what it was. You know, I'm sorry. You're right. Yeah, it was downwind on 18 before the...
final
yeah,
for
but we're not...
36.
Yeah. Gotcha. You're right.
Does anybody else have any other questions?
I suppose we could wind up getting circling around out there in the Bayport.
If we need to, out in the bay, yeah. Alright, I'm going to get this party started on 122.8 out of Sky Acres. Let's get this show on the road. It's time, chat. Kitty Monster, thanks for coming in today. I saw you. I know I've been ignoring chat. I'll catch up to it in a second. Sky Acres traffic. Comanche 124 Mike Charlie departing runway 35 left downwind departure to the south. Sky Acres. A little bit laggy because of all the aircraft that we've got over here at Sky Acres.
What's going on here? Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Sky Acres traffic, Comanche 683 Mike Bravo lining up, runway 35, will be holding for 2 minutes for departing traffic. Sky Acres.
We're up. I'll catch up to chat once I get to comfortable autopilot position, cruising on in. Let's go ahead and start our left downwind departure.
And I got a caravan on my butt.
Like that?
Mike, I trust you're taking screenshots of everybody lined up.
I don't have that good of model matching. Sky Driver Comanche 124, Mike Charlie, left down with departure to the south.
Steve has some good ones.
I see a few tail Gregory 320s, etc.
Everyone shows up as at least GA for me. Yeah, everybody's showing like his Bonanzas for me. That caravan behind me.
It's so laggy because there's so many aircraft. New York approach, Comanche 124, Mike Charlie.
Comanche 124, Mike Charlie, New York approach.
And New York approach, Comanche 124, Mike Charlie, 2,000 feet out of Sky Acres. VFR flight following to the south. We'd like to do the Skyline Route and then eventually over to Bayport 23 November.
Comanche 124, Mike Charlie, squawk 0313.
0313, Comanche 4, Mike Charlie.
Comanche 124, Mike Charlie, radar contact 5 miles to the east of the Kingston VOR. Proceed on course.
On course, 4 Mike Charlie, thank you. And just like that, we are on our way. Let's get pointed a little bit more towards Stormville here. Alright, let's go back through the chat. 8, the Aviator, thank you for coming in today. Atmos Chen, thank you so much. Good Fixins, Epic Rider, Eric Flight, thank you for coming in today. Wings Love Adventure, thank you for coming in today. Good Fixins, Kitty Monster, Michael Stein, thank you so much. I think I'm all caught up in the chat there saying hello to everyone. Let's have some fun on our way down to Bayport tonight. Sim is definitely a little bit on the laggy side. And the reason for that is because there's just so many damn aircraft that are spawned in at Sky Acres that the model matching is bogging me down here a little bit. But we will make do with what we got. It should smooth out, I think, once we get a little bit further south and away from the people, and then it'll probably slow down again once we eventually get over to
New York approach, Comanche
the city.
683 by Bravo.
And I'm sure me streaming doesn't help it any.
Comanche 683, Mike Bravo, New York approach.
And New York approach, Comanche 683, Mike Bravo, requesting flight following to Bayport, VFR down the Hudson via the Skyline Route.
Comanche 683, Mike Bravo, squawk 0375.
0375, 683, Mike Bravo.
Alright, now we're coming up over Stormville. Again, doesn't exist anymore. It's just been turned into a flea market, which is so sad, but that's kind of what it looked like. And now we'll do about a 240 heading
radar contact 5 miles to the east of the Kingston VOR.
to get over towards the Hudson.
Alright, we'll proceed on course, 683 Mike Bravo.
November 124, Mike Charlie, contact New York approach 120.8. Have a good one.
20.8 for Mike Charlie. Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you.
New York approach, good evening. Comanche 124, Mike Charlie, VFR 2000. We're going to take the Hudson south. Would like to request the Skyline Route.
So 124, Mike Charlie, and New York approach, the Westchester altimeter 2990.
2990 for Mike Charlie.
New York approach, I'm 629 with you on flight level 190 down.
5729, New York approach, cross Coriat, maintain 10,000. Information, kilos current at LaGuardia, expect the ILS runway 26.
Cross Coriat, 10,000 altimeter.
Smitty Papa, thank you for coming in today as well. Again, I appreciate all the love, the follows, the resubscriptions, the gift subs, the bits. I appreciate it all very much. Thank you guys. All that is basically just going into all the prizes for tonight. Pretty much anything that gets donated into this chat is essentially reinvested into the Virtua Safe Flying Club. Mr. Cessna1, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Yeah, screenshots, guys. Even if you're doing the ATC side of things too, if you could do screenshots of your scope, that'd be great. I really want to see what the line looks like on both sides.
Yeah, somebody just put up the stress.
Steering 475, direct to white, climb and maintain 17,000. White 17,000.
So yeah, I'm perfectly at 23 squared here. We are looking pretty good. I could probably lean it out a little bit more, chat, so I'm going to do that. There we go. Make the airplane nice and comfortable. Turn the fuel pump off for now. Everything else should be good to go.
Steering 475, leaving my airspace, near center closed, radar service terminated, frequency change approved.
You see that little bounciness when the sim lags? I apologize for that. My computer's doing the best she can
Bravo,
tonight.
2,500.
For 683, Mike Bravo, near approach, the Westchester altimeter 29090.
29090, 683, Mike Bravo.
I see trees of green, a river of blue. Look out, New York City, we're coming for you. I'm not going to be able to sing it. I sung it in my head, but I'm not going to be able to sing that out loud because I don't exactly have a singing voice. But I definitely sung it in my head. I can promise you that. Cut the corner here a little bit more towards the river. Shoot for right here. Blame it on the DMCA takedown thread. Exactly, there you go. That's why I don't do music anymore on the stream. That's my excuse and I'm sticking to it.
New York approach, November 38, Romeo 2000.
38 Romeo, New York approach, the Westchester altimeter 29090.
29090, 38 Romeo.
Good old Hudson Valley. That bridge you see coming up right here in front of us, Chet, that is the Bear Mountain Bridge that you're seeing right there.
I'm not that far back. There's not that much room.
No, I wasn't talking about you.
Seven 5729.
Yeah, my perception on the taxiway is a little rough.
Center maintain 7000, 729.
Alright, we have made the Hudson River chat. I am going to cheats doodle just a little bit here and kind of towards the big part of the river right here to the left. When the sim stops having a heart attack. Right about
I
here.
need to do that. I'm staying under 140. Maybe I just outclimbed you.
Did you go south towards Stormville first before cutting the corner?
Not all the way. Let me slow down.
Yeah, you didn't overtake me, Steve. I think you're just to my, out to my right.
Okay, gotcha. Are you at 140?
I'm at true airspeed of 151, but my indicated shows 140. Yes.
Indicated is what you want. Yep.
I kind of turned a little south because I saw you kind of getting close.
On your butt again.
Once someone starts rolling on takeoff, you can line up and start your timer.
Correct. Quite peaceful on New York approach frequency right now.
And I just noticed we've got November 224 Mike Charlie in the lineup tonight.
Switch over, sounds good, Smitty Papa. Yeah, we got plenty of other people to choose from tonight in terms of the
I know, do
streams.
chill out for a second.
We got, let's see, we got Slant Alpha streaming tonight, STW222 streaming, that Flight Sim Dude, November 8033 Foxtrot Jeffrey B are all streaming as well the flight this evening, so plenty of great options to choose from tonight. Should you feel so obliged to check out someone else. And once we land at Bayport on this stream chat, I am going to do a bunch of talking about the Flying Club. We'll watch a few people come on in, and then I'll probably hand it off to someone that's still doing the event afterwards in terms of a raid. But do a little bit of talking once we get on the ground at Bayport first. I want to talk more about the Flying Club, what it means to me, talk about my great members of the club, and yeah, that's the plan.
Mike Charlie, clearance to Bravo airspace on the Hudson River South down at 2000.
Alright, cleared in Bravo airspace, Hudson River South at 2000 for Mike Charlie. 2000 it is, chat, so we're right where we want to be. No changes necessary.
5729, proceed direct LaGuardia to center maintain 4000.
Direct LaGuardia to center maintain 4000.
3499 Mike, traffic 12 o'clock, 3 miles, on the Hudson River at 2000, a Bonanza.
And Mike Cook.
Should see the Tappan Zee Bridge coming out in front of us, Chad.
Cessna 121 for Papa, email for South Kingston, 1500 VFR.
Cessna 121 for Papa, near approach west Chester, altimeter 2990.
121 for Papa.
Our next frequency is going to be LaGuardia Tower on 18.7. So I'll get that ready to go. Very good.
So 683 Mike Bravo, clear into Bravo airspace, follow Hudson River southbound at 2000.
Cleared in the Bravo airspace, we'll follow Hudson River south at 2000 for 683 Mike Bravo.
Here's the Tappan Zee coming into full view. We've got add-ons for the Tappan Zee and the George Washington Bridge. I do not have one for the Verrazano because it wouldn't work for some reason in my sim. So, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. And then of course we have a nice add-on for Bayport, just like we had for Sky Acres.
499 Mike, in traffic now, 12 o'clock, 2 miles, still following the Hudson River southbound at 2000 Bonanza.
That Mike.
You have a stalking moose on your 6? Yes, I do. Mustafa is on my 6. Seen us the Green. I don't even know what the Green Acres theme song is, Kenny Monster. What do you? I don't even know what you're talking about. Not gonna lie to you. No idea what you're talking about.
So 5729, turn right heading 070 vector for the downwind.
Turn right heading 070 vector for the downwind.
There's the Tappan Zee. Oh, is that something where you're, are you dating yourself, Kenny Monster? See, I can't help you with that one if you're, exposing your age there. 'Cause I got no idea what you're talking about.
November 4181 X-ray requesting VFR clearance around the Statue of Liberty. We're at Linden Airport.
4181 X-ray, New York approach, what airport are you at?
We're doing a scenic flight around the Statue of Liberty, and we're going back to Linden.
4181 X-ray, if you're at Linden now and you're looking for VFR, call New York Tower Airborne 118.3.
118.3, 81 X-ray.
What departure American 1504, heading 340, passing 2,900.
American 1504 near departure radar contact, climb and maintain 15,000.
I'm saying 1,000, American 1504.
I know, Sim. We're loading up New York City, and you're going to be unhappy about it. I know. So you can do it. There's the Alpine Tower, by the way. Also another add-on that we've got in there. You can do it, Sim. I believe in you. You can see the Alpine Tower right here, Chad. That would be the first call-out we'd have to make if we were to do the actual exclusion zone.
So it's 5729, turn left heading 040 to set and maintain 3,000.
Heading 040, down 3,000, double 2,000.
American 1504, turn left heading 260. Number 38 Romeo, follow the Hudson River southbound, clear to Bravo airspace, maintain 2000.
Cleared it to the Bravo, follow the Hudson River
Yeah,
southbound,
Ricky, this
2000.
definitely looks familiar, right? Something we did together? Definitely.
4124 Mike Charlie, contact LaGuardia Tower 118.7.
1187 for Mike Charlie, thanks for coming in today.
Thank you.
LaGuardia Tower, good evening. Comanche 124 Mike Charlie, 2000 for the Skyline.
124 Mike Charlie, LaGuardia Tower, roger, continue on course.
Continue on course for Mike Charlie. Fantastic. Yeah, hopefully my sim, it's got most of it loaded in, so hopefully the stutter should stop here soon. I also noticed that whenever I click off the sim, that's when sometimes it stutters, so I'm going to try and focus on the flying for now.
I'm trying to adjust my speed, Steve, between you and Mike.
Foxtrot, Oscar, Echo Tango, turn right heading 360, wind 280 at 10, runway 31, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, 31, and then a right turn to 360 for Foxtrot, Oscar, Echo Tango.
That's Jeffrey at DC3. 410 Hotel Alpha.
Okay, that shouldn't be a problem, but what I'm seeing there is in there.
There's the George Washington Bridge chat. Again, one of the ones that we were able to get installed. And of course, New York City in all its glory. Time for the sim to stutter like crazy.
That can't be right because I don't fly airliners.
You are because it's a DC-3.
DC-3. Privately owned DC-3 flying GA.
Someone forward Golf 55 miles to the south.
We're never gonna let that one go, Jeffrey.
Name's Kermit Weeks.
Hello, 714 Victor Golf, LaGuardia Tower, enter left downwind runway 3, sorry, runway 22. Left downwind runway 22, 714.
LaGuardia Tower, hello, again, number 896 Alpha Oscar. Lima, runway 31, ready for departure.
896 Alpha Oscar, runway 31, line up and wait.
Line up, wait, 16 Alpha.
Come on,
LaGuardia
Sim,
Tower, Comanche 683 Mike Bravo at 2000 on the Skyline Route.
683 Mike Bravo, LaGuardia Tower, continue.
New York Tower will be our next frequency chat. 18.3, I'll get that ready to go. 18.3.
LaGuardia Tower, W2729, switching on the visual or on the approach for
Delta 729, LaGuardia Tower. Wind 280 at 10.
Gotta get a little bit closer to the right side of the river here. We're drifting a little bit towards the center.
714 Victor Golf with the request. Number 124 Mike Charlie, contact New York Tower 118.3 here.
1183 for Mike Charlie, thanks for coming in today.
For departure, radar vectors merit, stay as filed, maintain 2500, departure offline, squawk 7735.
Approaches number 4, radar vector Merit.
19-1 will be the next frequency for Kennedy.
77350, order repair, Shamrock 1 Tango Charlie.
And Shamrock 1 Tango Charlie, just confirm, maintain 2,500 after departure.
2,500 after departure, thank you, Shamrock 1 Tango Charlie.
Shamrock 1 Tango Charlie, read back is correct. You can expect runway 2 to right at Whiskey for departure. If you need full length, just advise.
Roger, running number 7, Shamrock 1 Tango Charlie.
Newark Tower, good evening. Comanche 124, Mike Charlie, 2000 on the Skyline.
Comanche 124, Mike Charlie, Newark Tower, good evening. Newark altimeter 29er, 89er.
89er. A little bit of a left turn. Let's go ahead and get a view of New York City. There's Central Park. Midtown Manhattan, Empire State Building, and then of course you've got Battery Park, and I guess that would be the, what do they call that, the Lower East Side, I guess? See, I'm still a tourist when I go to New York City, to be honest, so. Malcolm Foxtrot, thanks for coming in today. Good to see you, buddy. Of course, you got Lady Liberty out over here,
Man,
Freedom Tower right here.
Fluctuations in my speed.
So we get over to the Verrazano Bridge. We'll start our descent down below 500 feet for the South Shoreline of Kennedy before making our way east towards Bayport. It's all coming together. I think there's still a lot of people that are taking off out of Sky Acres. We are definitely going to land at Bayport before everyone gets off the ground at Sky Acres, chat. It's not even going to be close. We're going to span the entire length of the Hudson from Sky Acres and then along the South Shoreline to Bayport with all Flying Club members.
Charlie, traffic is 2 to 3 o'clock, about 5 miles of helicopter northwestbound indicating 500.
Looking for traffic for Mike Charlie.
And for Mike Charlie, correction, northeastbound towards the statue.
Newark Tower, Cherokee 683 Mike Bravo, 2000 on the Skyline Route.
Cherokee 683 Mike Bravo, Newark Tower, good evening. Newark altimeter 29er, 89er.
Lady Liberty.
29er, 89er, 683 Mike Bravo.
Helicopter traffic is just not going to be a factor for us. You'll have to do it next time, good fixins. You'll have to do it next time. We're going to get ready to descend here in a little bit. Yeah, there you go. It'll be more appropriate.
Actually, 124 Mike Charlie, Kennedy's waiting. The 119.1 Great Lakes.
19-1, 4 Mike Charlie. Thanks for coming in today. County Tower, good evening. Comanche 124 Mike Charlie is just coming up on the Verrazano at 2000. Like to transition South Shoreline eastbound.
124 Mike Charlie, Kennedy Tower, Kennedy altimeter 29er, 89er. Welcome.
4 Mike Charlie. And of course, 22-7 CTAF for Bayport Aerodrome is what we're going to be going to last. Alright, we are officially out of the Skyline chat. Let's wave goodbye to New York City. And for Mike Charlie, you want us below 500 for the South Shoreline, correct?
24 Mike Charlie, once you get closer, I'll drop you down, but you're fine where you are for now.
Thank you. Ooh, we're gonna have to do a nice, steady descent. Get ready to flick the autopilot off here when it comes. Got the Far Rockaways. Coney Island is all gonna be out here.
124 Mike Charlie, follow the shoreline eastbound, maintain VFR at below 500.
Shoreline eastbound out of below 500 for Mike Charlie, thank you. Alright, let's go ahead and click the autopilot off. We'll descend.
One bit for every foot per minute you land. Kidding. Happy anniversary. Party
Kenny Monster,
popper.
thank you for the 400 bits. I appreciate you, buddy. If my landing rate is that high, we got problems. And you get a new badge for 1K biddies. Thank you, man. Appreciate your support to the channel as always, Kenny Monster. Yeah, I'm gonna be pretty pissed if my landing rate's that high. But it's Bayport, so you never know. We'll be using Volanta to read our landing rate tonight, so we'll get the landing rate. We'll get to the landing rate guesses later when we get closer to Bayport. Yeah, we are descending to below 500 feet for the South Shoreline here.
Jeffrey, I'm holding short here.
Thank you, sir.
Cut the shoreline here a little bit, but then we'll get out over the water.
Radio check.
Froze on me there last time too. Scared me. Scare me, Sim. Don't do it, Sim. Don't do it. Don't you dare. Don't scare me like that. See if I can get this thing leveled off here. We're gonna go ahead and get the autopilot back on. Get the altitude and gauge going.
Good evening, Tower 714 Vertical, 7 to the west, inbound.
It's probably Kennedy loading in that's causing those stutters.
714 Victor Golf, you looking for a full stop landing? What are your intentions?
And we'll just make sure we stay clear of the South Shoreline here.
Golf,
We are at about 450 feet. That works for me.
I know, 714 Victor
And we'll transition
Golf,
eastbound.
2989er, cross midfield at 1,500, enter left downwind, runway 31 left.
Left downwind 31 left, cross midfield at 1500, 714.
Okay, Tower Delta 139.
139 Kennedy Tower, wind 310 at 10, runway 31 left, clear for takeoff.
Need a little bit of nose down trim, says the airplane. I'll give it to him. Looks like we had someone join the flying club just now. I have a moment, I can take care of that. Fantastic.
Kennedy Tower, Comanche 683 Mike Bravo is over the Verrazano Narrows Bridge 2000.
Comanche 683 Mike Bravo, Kennedy Tower, Kennedy altimeter 2989er, and are you looking for the eastbound transition along the shoreline?
That is correct.
Okay, follow the shoreline eastbound, maintain VFR at below 500.
Follow shoreline eastbound and at or below 500 for 653 Mike Bravo.
You can see Kennedy in all its glory over here to our left, chat, and all the traffic over there.
Tower, November 38 Romeo, over the Verrazano Bridge, 2000.
Roger 8 Romeo Kennedy Tower, Kennedy altimeter 2989er, and you're looking for the eastbound transmission as well?
Correct, 3 Romeo.
Roger 8 Romeo, follow the shoreline eastbound, maintain VFR at or below 500.
Shoreline eastbound, at or below 500, 3 Romeo.
3 Mike Bravo, be advised, multiple aircraft all types departing Kennedy runway 31 left and turning southwestbound.
We'll keep our eye out for the traffic. 683 Mike Bravo.
714 Rich Golf for the request.
Stand by. Delta 179, no further ATC is available. Mounting unit time 12220.
Holding the call. Have a nice night, Delta 179.
See Kennedy off our left still. Once we get a little bit further east and get towards Jones Beach, chat, we'll be able to punch out with ATC, switch over to CTAF for
Victor Golf, go ahead with your request.
and
We're like a touch and go.
climb to about 1,000 feet
Newark. 714 Victor Golf.
along the south, Great South Bay before eventually going below 700 feet for runway 36 at Bayport.
Continue. I can't give you landing clearance just yet. Continue. I'll give you the clearance closer to the field once you start base.
Roger, continue on our left downwind for 31 left, across the field, 714 as well.
No flying canoes tonight.
New York, number 3499er Mike at 2,000 feet at the Verrazano.
Number 3499er Mike, Kennedy Tower, Kennedy altimeter.
I am going to be
2989.
very easily on the ground at Bayport before a bunch of people take off the Sky Acres. Damn.
Niner Mike down to 500 feet.
Good showing. This is a good showing.
12 to 14. There's still probably a good 12 to 14
I haven't even
in the
started
line.
taxi yet. I'm in the Cessna 150. I figure I'm going to be probably the last takeoff here.
This is going to be a great showing.
No kidding. It's going to be awesome.
I know there's a model mismatch, so I can't afford to get too close to it.
Alright, we are going to be pretty close. Once we get to this little jet out right here, chat, that's when we're going to be clear of the Kennedy class Bravo, at least this lower shelf here. We'll be able to climb up to 1,000 feet right at about that Jones Beach area. That's Jones Beach
Might
right
have to
there.
refuel again before I can start taxiing.
Number 714 Victor Golf, runway 31, you're touch and go, on the go, turn westbound towards Verrazano Bridge.
31 left, clear touch and go, 714.
So at this point, we're clear of the Kennedy shelf, so we can go ahead and make our a little bit of a turn here.
124 Mike Charlie, leaving my airspace. No further ATC available. Radar service terminated. Squawk VFR, frequency change approved.
VFR, frequency change approved for my Charlie. Thanks for coming in today.
Kennedy Tower, Southwest 141, ready to go.
And that's it. Now we are on 22.7 for the Bayport CTAF. Squawk and VFR. The ATC portion is done. We are going to go ahead and climb up to 1,000 feet. Over the bay. .122.7 Kenny Monster, so you're not in the flying club anymore, so you don't know. The Virtue USA Flying Club has been given permission from VATUSA to use Real World CTAF at uncontrolled airports for Virtue USA Flying Club events only. So we are using 122.7 for Bayport this evening, and Real World CTAF frequencies for uncontrolled airports and all future Virtue USA Flying Club events. It's a beautiful thing. It's amazing what you can do with a bunch of emails, and when you ask nicely. Just like it took a while to get the permission to do the air show, but we got to do that, and it was great. And now we've got permission for the realism when it comes to... Oh, whoa. To the CTAF, using the real world CTAFs. Trying to make things as realistic as possible for the Virtuous Safe Flying Club. It's essentially what we're doing. I mean, there's still probably a good like 12 or 13 guys on the ground at Sky Acres, and we are almost to Bayport, chat. We are... This is awesome. Everything I could have hoped for and more, chat. Everything I could have hoped for and more. Right here, right now. Screenshots of VATSPY. Take a look at VATSPY. Here, I'll show you guys. There's me, leading the pack. And we got this guy, 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 and 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 this guy. And then there's still all these guys that haven't even taken off out of Sky Acres yet that are going to be doing the exact same thing. It's pretty. I like it. Show of force. It's dominating the skies of VATSIM in the New York area tonight. How close are we to Bayport? We are 17 miles away from our destination. Again, we're landing runway 36 at Bayport this evening, so we're going to be looking for the White House along the shoreline. We'll fly that in, make sure we're on the west side of the high school. And once we hit the railroad tracks, we'll make a right turn for our left base for runway 36. Scramble the fighter, someone's bound to bust a Bravo. Yeah, we're going to be pretty close to, if not breaking the attendance record tonight, I think. We might not break it, but we'll be pretty close. Got the twin span bridge right here. Captree Monument right over here and the Captree Bridge. Jeffrey, I think you forgot to file a VFR flight plan.
That's the altitude for you.
Bayport traffic, Comanche 124 Mike Charlie, 10 miles to the west, inbound for 36 Bayport. Make sure we're monitoring 122.8 and COM2. I just put that right there. Very good. It's one of the other stipulations. Alright, we're getting pretty close here, Chad. I'm going to go ahead and take the autopilot off. We're going to do this by hand the rest of the way. We're going to turn the fuel pump on.
Com traffic, November 3 Romeo, over to Jones, monument at 1000.
Start slowing down and getting ourselves ready for the entry into Bayport. Now is the time, chat. If you want to start putting landing rate guesses into the chat, positive or negative number does not matter. You do not need to do the exclamation point predict. I know Kenny Monster will because that's just his shtick. But you guys can go ahead and start doing a landing rate guess in the chat. I'm going to use Volanta to tell me what my landing rate is at Bayport tonight. Wind Tank, thanks for coming in today. Again, we're just starting to slow down and descend here to get below 700 and get ready for the entry into Bayport. Again, you do not need the exclamation point predict. Kenny Monster always does it, but you don't need it. Just a number, positive, negative, does not matter. It means all the same. Alright, we're below 700 feet. I'm gonna go below 125 first, notch flaps, to kind of help us out here. So the White House doesn't exist in the sim, but there's a little sign that Johnny put in that's got the Virtuous A Flying Club logo on it. We're going to try and look for that sign. It's just slightly to the east of the inlet for the river. So we're going to try and see if we can do the best we can to find it and get in appropriately. Make sure we stay below the 700 feet here. Start to slow down even further. I'm going to get the gear down. Let's get a little bit of drag introduced. See if we can find our sign here. Right here. Boom. That's where we're going for. Right there's the sign. You can see Virtuous A Flying Club logo. Awesome. Second notch flaps. Bayport traffic, Comanche 124 Mike Charlie shoreline for 36 Bayport. Just barely make out the Virtuous A Flying Club logo right there. Thank you, Johnny Hayes, for putting that into the scenery. So we'll hold this. We'll make sure we stay to this side of the high school, which is right here. And then once we get to the railroad tracks, we'll make the hard right turn, join the left base for runway 36. We'll go ahead and get the flaps full. We are fully configured at this point, and we are going to slow to our about 85 to 80 miles per hour for the approach.
Bayport traffic, Comanche 683 Mike Bravo, about 10 miles out from the Bayport Aerodrome at 1000 from the west. Bayport.
There's the high school. You can see the railroad tracks. Turn our base.
Nikon Bonanza, November 38 Romeo, Cat Tree Bridge 1000 eastbound.
And there's Bayport. Make our final turn. Line up for the open strip. Clear the trees. Plenty of room for a nice, smooth grass landing. Keep that back pressure in. Soft field. Let it bleed itself out. And we'll exit to the left. Bayport traffic, Comanche 124, Mike Charlie, clear of runway 36, Bayport. Easy as that. We're gonna go park right up over by the hangar, spot 1. Yeah, a little bit of a soft bounce on the grass, that's bound to happen.
33.
Someone said my landing was minus 33. Look at that, minus 33, chat. That's what Volanta says. Minus 33. Soft field landing.
Just want to confirm the frequency for Bayport is 122.7.
122.7. Ammo
Nice
Shen, thank
landing.
you for the 2,000 bits. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. This is going to be our parking spot for the night as we wait for all of our friends to come on and set the parking brake. Gonna leave the engine running. The airplane's probably not going to be happy that I'm going to leave the engine running, but we want to keep the engine running so the battery doesn't die, so we can listen to our friends coming inbound while I do a little bit of talking. Go showcase cam. Get a nice spot to watch our fellow flying club members come on in. I think right here will be a nice spot.
And Mike's right on that line, isolate.
We're here.
We've made
and
it.
Bayport,
We are on the ground.
It is Cherokee 683 on Bravo at the shoreline, landing 36 Bayport.
4 Mike Charlie's on the ground at Bayport.
Yeah, you had a nice land.
There's still 19 of you guys on the ground at... There are 20 of you guys on the ground at... Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm already at Bayport. Holy macaroni.
I like that one suggestion, how to go both ways.
Oh, we're here to put on a show tonight. And we're doing it.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna stretch the whole length twofold.
I'll be crossing here in a minute, Steve, heading in.
That's just impressive, chat. Alright.
I will say it's bumpy in X.12 right now, going over the...
Before we end the stream on my side, because I'm going to hand you guys off to someone else that's going to be doing the exact same thing here shortly. So before I end the stream, chat, and before I do that and hand you off,
yet. That's going to be interesting to see.
I just want to talk a little bit about the Virtue Safe Flying Club, which is what you've seen here tonight. If you don't already know, the Virtual USA Flying Club is a general aviation flying club on the VATSIM network. We are celebrating our 4-year anniversary tonight with this event. August 16th, 2019 was the official founding date of the club. I'm just going to mute the Discord for a second here while talking. August 16, 2019 was the original founding day of the club. This club originated from what used to be the New York Flying Club. So a bunch of NYA TCC guys way earlier on in my VATSIM career had a flying club called the New York Flying Club. Dave Aceto was the gentleman that used to run it. And it was a great idea. I loved it. I really loved it. And it disappeared sometime in like 2014, 2015, 2016 range, and it was gone. And you know, I finally was like, hey, we need to really get back into doing something general aviation related on the network to really kind of promote general aviation flying on VATSIM, and that's the goal of the club, is to promote GA on the VATSIM network, and that's what we're doing. And we're 4 years deep. We've got almost 700 members in the flying club. Got almost 50 flying in the event alone tonight. Do about 4 to 6 events every month. All general aviation related, just like you're seeing tonight, and doing a nice big old fly-in here to Bayport from Sky Acres along the Skyline Road. It's a beautiful flight. So again, if you're not already, if you're a VATSIM member, you enjoy general aviation, join the Virtually Flying Club. The Discord link was pulled up by Streamlabs right there in the chat. We're always looking for new members. We want to spread the love of general aviation on the VATSIM network as far and as wide as we can. You know, general aviation is an important part of aviation in the world. It's where you start. You know, I did all my flight training on a Piper Warrior, then a Piper Arrow, some Cessnas over at Farmingdale State College, and then eventually flight instructed there for about a year before eventually then working on jets.
Traffic.
Started in tiny little props just like the one I flew tonight, and I think it's important for the VATSIM network to really have a good general aviation presence. It'll help grow general aviation and just aviation in general in the real world. I've got plenty of friends that are also real world pilots like myself in the club, NYA Air, TCC, all that, so it's a fun thing. It's a great thing to be involved with, so definitely if you can, get involved. Yeah, I think that's gonna do it for me. I think that's enough talking out of my voice tonight. We started the stream with a nice little video on the history of Bayport, did all the briefings, flew on down. We're here now, hour 40, that's not so bad. Nice quick stream, even with all the extracurriculars. We are going to do a raid now, and I think for me the most entertaining person to follow tonight is going to be Jeffrey B in his DC-3 doing this flight that we just did. So we are going to go ahead and make a raid over to the Jeffrey B channel. So again, thank you guys so much. I appreciate all your support. Atmos Chen for the 2,000 bits, Kenny Monster for the 400 bits, Good Fixins for the resubscription. We had a big gift sub from Jeffrey B. I think that's part of the reason why I'm also going to raid him, just out of a courtesy. So thank you guys all so much, and all the follows as well. I appreciate it. Happy anniversary to the Flying Club members. Great 4 years. I'm looking forward to year number 5. We're just going to keep getting bigger and better. That's a promise.
Bayport traffic caravan.
Let me get this raid started up here. What did I do? I got to figure it out. I'm always struggle with setting up a raid for some reason. I'm not a professional streamer, guys, so alright. Let's see. Jeffrey B. Jeffrey B. There he is. I'm going to start this raid. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for coming in today. Have a great night. Go enjoy Jeffrey trying to fly the DC-3 in a Bayport. Good night.